Hello, and welcome to Going for Broadway. I'm Eryn Woo, and each week I chat with playwrights, directors, actors, talent agents, and many others who live their lives in, on, and around the stage. I'm sharing their secrets so you, too, can join me on this journey towards Broadway.
So if I'm ever on a game show and asked how many minutes are in a year, I'm totally singing the answer. 525,600 minutes. 525,000 moments, so dear. Ha!
Welcome to the Going for Broadway podcast with Eryn Woo. Eryn is a young performer who has acted and sung in many plays and has dreams of reaching Broadway. Each day is another step closer to that goal.
Hey everybody, welcome to Going for Broadway. Today I have Chante Carmel with us. Chante began her pursuit of the arts at the age of 5, when she fell in love with ballet and tap dance and also discovered her love for vocal music. At the age of 8 years old, Chante took her first international tour, traveling to Montego Bay, Jamaica, with the Crenshaw High School elite choir. Once Chante got the taste for traveling, she never looked back. She made her television debut in the after-school special Different Worlds, starring Dwan Martin, and was soon discovered by world-renowned dancer-choreographer Debbie Allen, who cast Chante in the role of Leisha in the hit series A Different World, where Chante appeared regularly. She soon began working steadily in her television roles. Along with her love for the arts, Chante has always had a passion for school, taking the time to study for her bachelor's degree in dramatic arts from the University of California, Santa Barbara, despite an already successful and busy performing career. Besides her television and film work, Chante has performed on Disney Cruise Lines, Broadway productions such as Mean Girls, and national tours including Rent and, currently, Motown the Musical. So, Chante, when did you discover that you wanted to be an actor?
Well, that's funny. It's actually my parents. I guess I was a pretty dramatic kid. But I actually took my first tour for singing when I was 8. And I think that was kind of prompted by a trip to Disneyland, where instead of enjoying Disneyland, I had like my Walkman. I'm dating myself.
Oh.
And all I did was listen to like the Whitney Houston album the whole time. I could like probably be like not concerned with what was happening at Disneyland at all. And my dad at that point was like, "Yeah, okay, she loves music."
Yeah,
which I did, and I did. So I actually started singing first.
Okay. And so you were like already traveling and touring at such a young age. So how were you able to do that?
My parents, obviously. My dad was a high school teacher. He's retired now, but he's a high school teacher at Crenshaw High School. And they have this amazing choir that travels the world.
Wow.
And he took me to the choir director there at 8 and let me sing for her. And her name was Iris Stevenson. She was the very first person to get me singing and just noticed my gift as a teacher. And she invited me on tour as a featured soloist. So I was singing with the Crenshaw High School elite choir at 8 years old.
Cool.
And my first tour was at 8 years old to Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so
cool.
When you're traveling, how do you get your schooling done?
Well, they weren't like long tours. They'd be like a week.
Okay.
Yes, I wasn't like consistently on tour.
Okay.
At a young age. It'd be like 2 trips a year. For like a week to Jamaica, we perform at all of these different venues in Jamaica. Or by the time I was 12, we were doing Europe. So we went we'd do a week, Paris, Lyon, Nice, France has a carnival. So it wasn't like I was touring all year.
Right. And you received your bachelor's degree in dramatic arts from the University of California, Santa Barbara. And so by the time you were college age, you had done so much. So what made you even consider going back to school and doing all that and going to study Shakespeare at Cambridge?
Well, in my family, it was not whether you were going to college, it was which college were you going to. So going to college was like not even a question in my family. My mom's got a master's from UCLA. My dad's got his master's from the Claremont colleges. Education in my family. My dad's a teacher. My mother's a librarian. It was like, that was a no-brainer. I knew, I think, you know, at a very young age, I wanted to go to college. I actually went as a pre-law major because I did not think that I was going to be able to make you know, I really didn't believe in myself at a young age. Like, so I was like, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. And then when I got to school, and then, I don't know, everything just changed. I missed acting. I missed singing. So I was just like, I have to go at least try out for the theater department.
Yeah.
And they saw me, and they were like, please, yes, you have to audition to get into their program there.
Right.
And so then I just, you know, I talked to my parents about it, and they're like, you know, you only live once, follow your dreams. And so I did. I have the most amazing parents in the world that are, you know, so supportive of any and every dream I've ever had.
Yeah. And is that school considered to be one of the top dramatic arts programs on the West Coast?
The UC Santa Barbara is a really difficult school to get into, and their BFA program is even more difficult. So, yeah.
Okay.
Of the UCs, I think Santa Barbara right now is probably the hardest UC to get into. But, you know, even before UCLA and Cal Berkeley.
And so what all are you trained in? What did you study while in school at Shakespeare?
I had a Shakespeare program in school. I studied straight theater. I didn't do musical theater. They didn't have a musical theater program at my school. So I just studied straight theater, which they have an abroad program through the UC system. And I was like, well, of course I have to go abroad and go to Shakespeare's House and the Globe Theater. And so that's how I picked that program, because I was so into it. Mm-hmm. I was so into theater at that point and learning.
And so you toured when you were 8, and you also toured internationally when you were like 13. Has touring at a young age just helped you touring today?
Yes, absolutely. Because, you know, you get bit by the travel bug, and I did at a very young age, and it's like, I love it. I love to move around. I love traveling. I love going and staying in places. Still really shaky about flying, even though I've been flying since I was so young.
Yeah.
But it's like, I love it. You know, and I've really learned to enjoy, you know, moving about the country and seeing things in this world, you know, and getting paid to do it. Like, that's the best.
Yeah. And you also said that living in Los Angeles has just made it so easy for you to transition from stage to television. So No,
it's so hard.
It is?
So hard.
Okay. Maybe I read that wrong.
It's actually really difficult. Film and television. I started film and television singing, and then I went to film and television. And as a child, children are so beautiful. They have this natural thing, which I had. This natural thing that works for TV. And then I moved and went to stage and really studied stage and that. And then I made a transition back to film and television, but it's actually really difficult.
Okay.
It's actually it was more difficult for me as an adult to do film and television than it was as a child. And they're very different mediums. Yes, everything comes from the stage, and that's where it all starts. But film and television is different. And so I had to actually go back and study that and go back into class to, auditioning. That's auditioning for film, camera angles, different things like that. It's a different thing.
And so how did you get involved in TV shows like Different Worlds and Where I Live, The Burning Zone?
I had an agent. One of the beautiful things about living in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I actually have one of the best kid agents, Gold Marshak. So I had a kid agent, and they'd send me on auditions, and I'd go, and that's just how that worked. Debbie Allen was the first person who cast me. She started when people started my acting career.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was reoccurring on A Different World.
And so you've just done so many things. One also being performing on the Disney Cruise Line.
Oh, yeah.
My family and I were did one last summer, and the shows were outstanding. And so what is it like performing on a cruise?
Well, for the performers, I had a great time. So they have Disney has all these different ships. And if you're on like a 3 or 4 day cruise, it's very difficult because you're performing 3 shows a day back to back. You know, you've got a 3-day and then a 4-day cruise, and you're always turning over guests. I was lucky enough to work the 7-day cruise.
Okay.
So we only turned over our guests every 7 days. I worked 6 days a week, but I only worked 3 hours a day in the evening time when everybody was back on the ship. And it was great. Like, I loved it. You know, we just kind of had our days free, and I could work out, which I'm really passionate about, fitness. And it was lovely. Disney is a great company to work for. They really took care of us.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to bring my parents and my sister and some friends, you know, to come and see what I do.
Nice.
It was really great. It was a really great experience.
And how did you get involved with that?
You know what? I will tell you. I had moved. Disney was my first job out of college.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I have my degree. I'm theater. I've got to move to New York. So I moved to New York, and I'm there for months, auditioning, and nothing. Finally, I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to have to get a regular job. I get a job working for Fleet Bank, which I don't even think exists anymore in New York. And the day I was supposed to report for work, I think I had auditioned on Friday, like my final callback for Disney, because they have these open calls every 6 months, every 5 months, something like that. I think I did my final callback on a Friday. I was supposed to report to work on Monday. And that morning, Disney called me and said, hey, we want you to come work for us.
Nice.
So instead of going to work at the bank, I packed up all my stuff. They flew me to Toronto.
Wow.
That's where they train people, yeah.
That just worked out great for you then.
Oh, my God, I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You've excelled at so many different genres, film, television, stage. You're going to be now with Motown the Musical. So what motivated you to do all of this? Like, just sitting around in LA thinking to yourself, the weather's going to be too hot for this summer. I think I'll go on tour.
It was, seriously, divine intervention that I had this job and was blessed to even join this tour. I was working with one of the, I'm going to say Broadway legends because he is definitely a Broadway legend. His name is Chester Gregory. Mm-hmm. I was doing his show, The Eve of Jackie, based on Jackie Wilson's life in LA. And we were having just like spot dates ever so often, maybe once a month I'd perform. I got a regular job. I was actually working at a gym. It's called Bay Club in LA, and the jobs weren't coming. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to follow this other passions of mine. I got certified to be a personal trainer. And once again, the very week that I start actually going out and trying to find clients, I get a call from my agent, and they're like, okay, it was a 1.5-month audition process for this job. So I sent 2 different sets of tape to New York, Chelsea Casting. And then the tour was in Costa Mesa. So I had a 3rd audition in Costa Mesa with a musical director and stage manager. And then I heard nothing for weeks. So I'm like, I guess I didn't get it. I better move on once again. So I'm on my way to all right, I'm going to really put my all into this personal training. Lord, this is where you want me, right? Mm-hmm. So on the Monday, the week that I'm training, okay, I'm going to start looking for clients. I'm setting up all these different meetings with members of the gym. And Monday, I get a call from my agent. They said, okay, they've called, and they said, Barry Gordy wants to see you at his house. But we don't know when. It could be in the next 30 days. My agent didn't know. So I was like, okay, I don't even know what that means. Wednesday morning, 8:30 in the morning, I get a call because, New York's a couple hours ahead. So I get a call in LA, and they're like, Barry Gordy wants to see you at his house today at 4:00. can you make it? They actually asked me if I can make it. I'm like, yeah, let me check my schedule. I think I can make that. So I go to Barry Gordy's house. I audition for him. Just him in his living room at his amazing house. Me and an accompanist and his assistant. And at the end of the audition, Barry Gordy looks at me and says, okay, you won. And I'm like, okay. I didn't want to get my hopes up because I still don't know when this process is going to start. Thursday morning, they call and make me an offer. They asked me to be on a plane Saturday.
All right.
I know. That's a long story. Once again, divine intervention. You know, I'm set up to go into this other career, set up to go do, and God is like, nope, that's not where I want you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, for sure, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life.
And Motown Musical is not your first tour.
No.
You starred as Joanne in Rent. One of my favorite shows ever.
Oh, really?
Yes.
525,000.
Exactly, yeah. You might just have to sing for us in one of these podcasts. So you got involved in this tour, this Tony Award-winning show. How?
Same. Open call in L.A. I had just come back from working for Disney. I'm in L.A., once again hustling, because that's an actor's life.
Yep.
You know, auditioning, open call. You know, I was fortunate to have saved some money from my Disney process to be able to live for a little while. And so I just went to one of those massive open calls where they're seeing like hundreds of people. And I auditioned once in L.A., twice in L.A., sorry. So I auditioned, I got the call back. And then they were like, can you fly to New York? And I was like, really? Because I don't know if I have, the money. And they're like, no, you're like our top choice. You're like one of three people that we're considering. Because I asked, I was like, well, is this going to be like another big, massive open call in New York, or what's going on? They're like, no, you're like one of three. I get to New York, and I audition, and yeah.
Wow.
They're like, yeah, we want you.
So were these auditions going in and singing, reading lines?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Rent doesn't have that much talking in it, as much, there are definitely a lot of, I have a lot of lines in this show, in Motown, but Rent, there's more like, you really have to be able to act out the singing.
Yeah.
And they were really like, okay, can you show us, this different person, that different, so yeah. And I had, in Rent, I only played one character. The hard part about Motown is that I actually play 1, 2, 4 different characters.
Oh, okay.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm in like this girls group. I sing Dancing in the Street, so I'm Martha Reeves. But I'm also this activist, this civil rights activist, Edna Anderson, who was Barry Gordy's longtime assistant. She actually recently just passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
I know. So I'm really honored to be able to play her.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And so what is touring internationally like? What is the lifestyle of just traveling place to place, performing for so many different cities and different audiences?
Exciting. Never a dull moment. You get to see the world. So if you're really into, whatever you're really into, like, I was just in Memphis and I got to go to the Lorraine Hotel and see. The Lorraine Hotel was where Martin Luther King was shot and killed.
Okay.
They made it into a museum. They preserved everything, made it into a museum. So, it's really about going into these cities and you find you get to see history. You get to see our culture as Americans, which is really amazing. I'm here in Dallas now, and this is where JFK was shot and killed.
Yeah.
So they've got a whole museum for that I'm going to go see, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, you get to see everything, which is really incredible.
And when you're moving into like different theaters, I know some theaters are smaller or bigger than others, so how is adjusting to that like?
Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay.
That's the easiest.
All right.
Our crew is amazing. You know, they have all that stuff set up for us before the actors even get to the building. Our management, our crew, that would probably be a better question for a crew member. They probably have to really rack their brains of how we're going to fit the set in,
Yeah.
how are we going to do that. But by the time we're there, we just go to our dressing rooms, which are labeled for us, put on our makeup and do it, yeah.
Great. And when you're in such vocally demanding musicals like Motown or Dreamgirls, which you had the chance to do at the San Diego Repertory Theater.
Yes, I did Dreamgirls 3 times, though, actually.
I mean, that's so much. How are you able to keep your voice just so strong and healthy throughout all of that?
You know, it's really hard. Sleep is key. Sleep and hydration, especially because you're going in a different climate.
Right.
Everywhere has got, like, Memphis was really, I'm going to say moist, like the air was really humid. Houston is hot, but it's really dry. But everywhere you go, it's about hydration and sleep. There's so many things that I can't do. Like, I really have to be careful about my caffeine intake.
Yeah.
I really have to be careful about, for me, staying out late, talking too much when I wake up in the morning. It is something that, for me, I actually have to really think about it. There are some people in our cast who have lungs of steel.
Right.
Like, they could go and do whatever they want, drink whatever. Like, I can barely even take in a lot of dairy just because of, so everybody's different. You just have to know your voice.
Yeah.
Which I do. I know my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I can and can't do. So.
And you are such a successful singer and songwriter, so how do you go about producing your own music, writing it, and just promoting it with top record producers?
Well, when I was younger, I was really into the music business. I am not so much anymore.
Okay.
I would like to be more involved, but when you talk about things that are just really different from the theater world to the music business world to film and television, everything is so different. Like, sometimes it's hard to do all three. It's like when I'm doing theater, that's what I'm doing. When I had a record deal and I had a singing group, that's all I did. So now my pastime, I write scripts, actually.
Okay.
So that's what I do. I haven't written a song in quite some time, which I should probably change.
Yeah.
But I really respect people's gifts, and songwriting is a gift. Some people just have it. I don't know that I have that. It doesn't come very easily to me. Like, I really have to try really hard to manipulate the words, to write a song, you know, like to tell these little short stories.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me. I like to tell the whole story, which is why I kind of, you know, I took a couple of classes at UCLA Extension and went more into television writing, because that I do enjoy. And I'm not going to say it's easier, because it's not easier, but it makes sense to me.
Right.
It makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, I'm not so poetic, which I found out. You know, I found out. I was like, maybe I'm not as poetic as I think I am. So, you know, big ups to all the writers out there, songwriters out there. I think they're amazing.
You wear so many different hats under many different fields of performing and acting. And so how did you learn and prepare for this all? And how do you keep just such a balance with all of this?
You have to. I mean, you're kind of around it. So by being around all the different, by people who are so multi-talented, you know, kind of rubs off. And then also, too, when you have a love for one thing, you kind of start to enjoy the entire process.
Yeah.
Like, I love television, so I love the whole process, from the writing to putting it up on screen to editing, you know, and how that all comes together. Actually, my older brother is an editor.
Okay.
It's incredible. Yeah, so you really just start to have a respect for the entire process from start to finish. You know, you want to know. You know, it's just that I love knowledge. I love to know more, learn more, and then some things you fall into, some things you don't.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to aspiring young actors in reaching their goals in acting and potentially being on Broadway and touring?
Do not give up. Do not quit. Do not quit. If it is your dream, if it is what you want, if you live it, if you breathe it, do not quit. You find a way to be a part of it. You find a way to continue in it however you can. Even for me, if you'll do this for pennies, if you'll do it for nothing, it's probably something you're supposed to be involved in, which I did and do still for nothing. Like I'm a part of shows. If it's something that you want and love, do it. Stay in it because it'll happen. It happens. You keep, if you're a person of faith, you keep praying, you keep asking for what it is that you want, and, it'll happen. Yeah. Study as much as you can. Acting looks really easy. It looks like anybody can do it. And yes, there are some people who are genuinely talented and have that gift to just be able to, boom, you see kids who are just like, whoa, where'd you get this talent from? But, then there are people who study their craft and are lifelong seekers of knowledge as far as being a part of theater, being a part of acting. Learn as much as you can. My parents are really old school. I have a great aunt who was a singer and an actress. And my dad is kind of old school. So when I started, and he's like, okay, you have this thing. He put me in acting class. He put me in a dance class. And I did music. So I've been able to sustain myself in this business because I don't just do one thing.
Right.
So to parents, if you're out there and this is something, make sure you cover all the bases. Music, I started out doing ballet and tap. I've gotten really into that. Point, modern, jazz, hip hop. All of that comes into play when you're doing Broadway.
Yes.
All of that. The acting classes. I started at Marla Gibbs Acting Studio in Los Angeles as a child. It started at Dance Wonderland. And I did music with Ida Stevenson, who was an amazing choir director, amazing musician. She's got an amazing gift. And just don't quit. And whatever, learn as much as you can learn and practice. Because when I'm out of practice, woo! Yeah. Especially as a singer.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as a singer, our voices are muscles. So you have to use them. As much as I got on my mother's nerves, she's so happy now.
Yeah.
I was singing all the time and still now sing all the time.
Right.
So don't give up. Don't quit. If it's your dream,
Yeah.
Everybody has something that keeps them balanced in this business. For me, it's fitness.
Okay.
Because it helps me clear my head. It helps me stay focused on the things that I want. For other people, it's painting. Whatever you do, always have something else that is, I want to say, a stress reliever or something away from the career that'll keep you balanced. Like I'm at the gym right now.
Yeah.
And I think that helps, especially if you're starting out as a child, as a young person in the business. You see a lot of people kind of go a certain way with the drinking and the alcohol and things like that. But, really finding something to keep you centered as a person and grounded. Kiki Palmer, who I got a chance to work with recently, amazing transition from a young child actress to an adult. She's making a beautiful transition. I just read an article about her that talked, and she's like, I have this balance of yoga and meditation. She said she learned how to meditate really young, so she can stay grounded in who she is,
right,
and what she believes in. So I was like, I really respect that. And if you have some type of belief system, some type of faith system, don't let that go.
Okay.
Don't let it go. Stay grounded in whatever it is that your faith, because there are going to be very difficult times in this business.
Yes.
For everyone.
Of course. Yes.
For everyone. Was that a good answer?
That is a very good answer, yes. And do you have any other thoughts for the parents of these aspiring young actors?
Believe in your kids. My dad really was amazing. There were days that I did want to quit. I wanted to give up because, especially in high school, because kids aren't nice sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And if they see that you're talented, if they see that you have dreams, they'll prey on that. And there was a time when I was like, I don't want this attention. Because going through high school, I did get a different world from junior high school to high school, and then I started doing more, like ER, all that, all through college. But like growing up, people see you on TV, and then I just have to go back to school the next day. They think something of it. So kids sometimes can be jealous. Just support your kids, stay active in whatever it is that they're doing. My dad really stayed active in making sure I was in dance class, making sure I was in the acting classes, and I stuck with that kind of stuff, with the arts. And, once again, parents, whatever faith, it is that you guys have, make sure that that's with your kids, because this is a hard business.
Right. It is.
It's a hard business.
Mm-hmm.
It can be great, which right now I am living my dream, and I love it.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some lows, and my parents were there for all the lows, continuing to support me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes a village.
So what's after Motown the Musical? What else are you working on or preparing for?
I just got here 2 weeks ago. I actually just joined the tour 2 weeks ago. So right now I'm gonna ride this wave. I'm here. I have 6 months, and hopefully I can go for longer. This is an amazing show to be a part of. It's just touching cities for the very first time ever, and I'm ready for this ride. Hopefully I can stay with the Motown family for as long as they'll have me.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, Chante, thank you so much for being here again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you when you come to Greenville and Motown.
Yes, Greenville. My sister's mother-in-law is out there, so hopefully she'll be at the show.
Cool.
I'm excited to come to Greenville.
Awesome. Thanks so much again for your time and all of your wise words.
No problem. You're the best, Eryn. Thank you.
Wow, so that was Chante Carmel for us today. I think it's amazing how she got to perform and travel around the world so early in her life. I mean, I wish I could have done that, but, of course, you and me and everybody has their own paths of getting to where they want to be, and we just gotta work it hard. So thank you so much. And look out for more podcasts coming very soon. I've been doing a lot of these lately, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'll see you in the next session, and thank you for all of your support. Break some legs. Bye.